Manchester, Madrid, Portugal, number 7.
Cristiano Ronaldo is not just a football superstar. He is obsession turned into movement, discipline turned into muscle, ambition wearing the number 7, a player who could run past defenders, rise above them, overpower them, and punish them for a single mistake. Today, we know the goals, the trophies, the Champions League nights, the Ballon d'Ors, the records, the celebration. But before Manchester United, before Real Madrid, before millions of people shouted his name, there was a skinny boy from a small island in the Atlantic Ocean. A boy who left home at 12 years old. A boy who missed his family. A boy who had talent, but no guarantee that talent would be enough. This is the story of Cristiano Ronaldo. From Madeira to becoming one of the most famous athletes in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo dos Santos Aveiro was born on the 5th of February, 1985, in Funchal, on the Portuguese island of Madeira. He grew up in a working-class family. Football was everywhere, on the streets, on rough pitches, anywhere there was enough space for a ball. And from a young age, Cristiano was competitive. He didn't just want to play, he wanted to win. He wanted the ball, he wanted to score, he wanted to be noticed. That hunger was obvious long before the fame arrived. Ronaldo joined local club Andorinha, where his father worked as a kitman, and later moved to Nacional. His talent quickly became impossible to ignore. He was fast, fearless, technically gifted, and completely obsessed with football. Then came the first major decision of his life. Sporting CP wanted him, but Sporting was in Lisbon, far from Madeira, far from home. Cristiano was only 12. Imagine being 12 years old, leaving your parents, leaving your friends, leaving the island where you grew up, and moving hundreds of miles away because somebody believes you might become a professional footballer. For Ronaldo, that was the price of the dream. He moved to Lisbon and joined Sporting's academy. It was exciting, but it was also lonely. He missed his family. His Madeiran accent made him stand out. He was surrounded by other talented boys who wanted exactly what he wanted, a professional career. So Ronaldo began building the habit that would define him: work. He trained, then trained more. He practiced dribbling, shooting, crossing, free kicks, speed, balance, strength. And slowly, the skinny boy from Madeira began separating himself from the others, not just because of talent, because of repetition, because of hunger, because stopping was never really part of the plan. In 2002, Ronaldo made his senior debut for Sporting CP. He was still a teenager, but the confidence was already there. The step-overs, the acceleration, the willingness to attack experienced defenders. Then, in 2003, Sporting played Manchester United in a pre-season friendly. Ronaldo caused problems all night. United's players noticed. So did Sir Alex Ferguson. Soon afterward, Manchester United signed him. Cristiano Ronaldo was 18 years old, and he was about to enter one of the biggest clubs in world football. Then came the shirt. Number 7. At Manchester United, number 7 carried history. George Best, Brian Robson, Eric Cantona, David Beckham, now Cristiano Ronaldo. That number wasn't just a shirt, it was pressure. At first, Ronaldo was exciting but unfinished. He could embarrass defenders with skill. He could explode past them. He could make a stadium rise out of its seat. But sometimes, he held the ball too long. Sometimes the tricks came before the final pass. Sometimes the decision wasn't right. Sir Alex Ferguson saw the potential. But potential had to become production. So Ronaldo changed. He became stronger, more direct, more efficient. The unnecessary step-overs slowly became purposeful movement. The winger became a goal scorer. And then came the transformation. By the 2007-08 season, Cristiano Ronaldo was almost unstoppable. He scored from distance, he scored headers, free kicks, penalties. With his right foot, with his left, he became one of the most complete attacking players in football. Manchester United won the Premier League, then the Champions League. Ronaldo scored in the final against Chelsea, and later that year, he won his first Ballon d'Or. At 23 years old, the boy from Madeira was officially the best player in the world. For many players, that would be enough. For Ronaldo, it wasn't. In 2009, Cristiano Ronaldo joined Real Madrid for what was then a world record transfer fee. The expectations were enormous. At Real Madrid, being great is not enough. You are expected to be historic. And Ronaldo delivered. The goals came immediately, then kept coming, season after season, 30, 40, 50, sometimes more. The numbers became difficult to believe. His rivalry with Lionel Messi became one of the defining stories of modern football. Every week came another comparison, another argument, another record. Who was better? Who scored more? Who won more? But Ronaldo's response was usually the same: score again. At Madrid, his game changed. The young winger who once wanted to dribble past everybody became more ruthless, more efficient, more dangerous inside the box. He learned how to move without the ball, how to attack the far post, how to time a run, how to disappear from a defender's vision and then appear in front of goal. That evolution mattered, because Ronaldo understood something that every elite athlete eventually has to understand. Your body changes, so your game must change with it. Some players are remembered for league titles, some for international tournaments. Cristiano Ronaldo built a huge part of his legend in the Champions League. The anthem, the pressure, the knockout rounds, the nights when one mistake can destroy an entire season. Ronaldo seemed to become more dangerous when the pressure became heavier. Hat tricks, late goals, comebacks, penalties, headers, big moments. Real Madrid won 4 Champions League titles during Ronaldo's time at the club, and Ronaldo became the competition's defining goal scorer of his era. He didn't just score often, he scored when the season was on the line. When Europe became nervous, Ronaldo often looked comfortable. That became part of the mythology around him. The bigger the stage, the more he seemed to want the ball. But there was one criticism Ronaldo could not escape. Club success was one thing. Could he win something major with Portugal? Every international tournament came with pressure. Every defeat became another question. Then came Euro 2016. Portugal reached the final against France, the biggest match of Ronaldo's international career. Then, early in the game, disaster. Ronaldo was injured. He tried to continue. He couldn't. He left the pitch in tears. For one of the most competitive athletes in football, it was brutal. The biggest game of his country's history, and he could no longer play. But he did not disappear. He stayed involved from the sideline, shouting, encouraging, living every second. Then Portugal scored. The final whistle came. Portugal were European champions. For the first time in the country's history, they had won a major international tournament. Ronaldo lifted the trophy, and suddenly, one of the biggest missing pieces of his career was gone. 3 years later, Portugal also won the UEFA Nations League. For Ronaldo, winning for his country carried a different meaning. Clubs could give him trophies. Portugal could give him home. Maybe Cristiano Ronaldo's greatest weapon was never his speed, or his right foot, or his jumping ability. Maybe it was his mentality. Criticism seemed to become fuel. Pressure became motivation. Competition became personal. If someone scored 30 goals, Ronaldo wanted 40. If someone broke a record, he wanted another one. If people said he was finished, he wanted proof that they were wrong. That mentality made him polarizing at times, but it also made him extraordinary, because Ronaldo never seemed interested in being simply successful. He wanted to be remembered. And being remembered required more than talent, it required obsession. In 2018, Ronaldo left Real Madrid. After 9 years, hundreds of goals, and 4 Champions League titles, he chose another challenge. Juventus, new country, new league, new defenders, new expectations. And again, the goals followed. He won Serie A titles, he kept breaking records, he proved he could score in England, Spain, Italy. Different systems, different teammates, different styles of football, but the objective never changed. Win, score, improve, repeat. In 2021, Ronaldo returned to Manchester United. Old Trafford welcomed him like a returning king. The teenager who had once arrived from Sporting was now one of the most famous athletes in history. And in his first game back, he scored. It felt almost too perfect. But football rarely gives perfect endings. Manchester United struggled, managers changed, results disappointed. Ronaldo continued scoring important goals, but eventually the relationship between player and club broke down. The reunion ended badly, and that chapter revealed something important about Ronaldo's career. Greatness does not protect you from difficult endings. Even legends can reach a point where player, team, and time no longer move in the same direction. In 2023, Ronaldo joined Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia. For some people, the move looked like the beginning of the end, but Ronaldo saw another challenge, and everywhere he went, attention followed. Global interest in Saudi football grew dramatically. Other major players arrived. The league became part of the international football conversation. Ronaldo was no longer simply participating in football history. His presence was helping reshape where global attention went. And even after leaving Europe's biggest leagues, the obsession with goals continued. Because with Ronaldo, the location changed. The mentality didn't. Cristiano Ronaldo's longevity cannot be understood without talking about preparation. His physique became famous, but the deeper story was discipline, training, nutrition, recovery, sleep, strength, mobility, routine. Again. Elite performance is often imagined as something dramatic, a spectacular goal, a final, a trophy lift. But longevity is usually built somewhere less exciting, in the gym, at the training ground, at home, on days when nobody is watching. Ronaldo understood that. Talent may create opportunity, routine protects it. Then there is the celebration, the run, the jump, the turn, the landing. Siuuu. Children copied it. Professional footballers copied it. Athletes in other sports copied it. Fans copied it in schools, parks, stadiums, living rooms. A simple celebration became part of global culture, and maybe that tells you something about Ronaldo's influence. He wasn't only producing numbers, he was producing moments people wanted to recreate. Greatness creates a strange problem. Eventually, people stop being surprised. Ronaldo scores? Expected. Twice? Good. Hat-trick? That's Ronaldo. He goes a few matches without scoring? What's wrong with him? That is the punishment of becoming extraordinary. Eventually, extraordinary becomes normal. Goals become obligations, records become expectations, miracles become statistics, and sometimes people forget the work required to make extraordinary things look ordinary. For years, Ronaldo lived inside those expectations. Every match, every season, every tournament, and still kept returning. Today, Ronaldo's career can look inevitable. The perfect body, the trophies, the Ballon d'Ors, the goals, the fame, the money, the confidence. But none of it was inevitable. There was a 12-year-old boy leaving Madeira, a homesick teenager in Lisbon, a talented winger who still had to learn how to become efficient, a superstar who had to reinvent his game as he aged, a captain who experienced international heartbreak before international glory, a player who heard again and again, "You are finished, too old, too slow, the end is coming." And again, Ronaldo answered the same way. He worked. Before the stadiums came loneliness, before the trophies came repetition, before the records came failure, before the world believed in Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo had to believe in himself. One day, every record falls. Another superstar arrives. Another child becomes the next great number 7. That's football. It always moves forward. The Cristiano Ronaldo story was never only about numbers. It was about transformation. The boy from Madeira became a winger. The winger became a goal scorer. The goal scorer became a champion. The champion became an icon. And the icon became one of the most recognizable athletes in history. Sporting gave him the opportunity. Manchester United developed him. Real Madrid turned him into a legend. Portugal gave him the chance to win for home. Juventus gave him another challenge. Al Nassr gave him another chapter. But underneath every club, every trophy, every goal, one thing remained: work, discipline, competition, belief. From Madeira to Manchester, Madrid, Turin, Riyadh, Champions League finals, European Championship glory, Ballon d'Or nights, hundreds of goals, millions of fans. Cristiano Ronaldo became one of the defining athletes of his generation. But there was one final transformation he chased, one final chapter that could have completed the story: the World Cup. In 2026, that last dream was missed. The trophy that had followed him through an entire career remained beyond his reach, and maybe that's important, because even the greatest careers don't end with everything conquered. Even legends leave something behind that they wanted but could never have. But perhaps the most important part of his story isn't what was missing. It isn't the fame, it isn't the trophies, it isn't even the goals. It's the idea behind all of them. Talent may open the door, but talent alone does not keep you there. The boy from Madeira spent his entire career trying to become better than the player he was yesterday. And maybe that is the real Cristiano Ronaldo story. Not perfection, not inevitability, not winning everything. Transformation, again and again. And when the final transformation never came, it didn't erase the ones that did.